So, first confirmed loss of the season. At the home apiary here with my Echo 2620 ES long reach hedge trimmers. An invaluable tool when it comes to working around the hives, I find, because it's preferable to me than using a strimmer around the hives that, you know, the strimmer throws up grass into the entrances and that. So I prefer, especially during the summer, trimming the grass with long reach hedge trimmers. It just saves me bending down. Obviously, now that I'm on YouTube, safety first. So that's my Echo HCA 2620 ES. Great little machine. Long reach hedge trimmers. It has the tilting geared head. I don't know if you can see that, but you know, you can tilt it to kind of change the angle of the cutting head, which is useful, especially when you're doing low down stuff. You can tilt it and it's kind of level with the ground then, and you can cut your grass, long grass with it. And as I said, the great thing about hedge trimmers like this is it doesn't throw grass up into the entrances of the hives, which kind of irritates the bees, so I'd rather not do it. So it's Sunday, the 25th of February, the afternoon, about 2:30 or so, and I'm just making my way to the out apiary that I was at in my last video. I'm just going to do a bit of trimming work there. It's surrounded by trees, different trees, hazel, oak, beech, and there's blackthorn, a kind of a growth of blackthorn there as well. So it's a nice spot for the bees, but obviously, you know, I mean, if you don't keep it maintained, things just get out of control. But I have noticed in the last 2 or 3 years as well that just sheerly because of the growth of the trees, when especially in the middle of summer with the leaf, that the sun doesn't actually hit the site until quite late in the day. And I'd safely say that some of the hives are nearly constantly in shadow. So if it's a case that especially in the early spring with a bit of frost, that there might be a bit of frost or a chilly night, that in general, just that, you know, it takes a long time for the bees to kind of get active again after that night. So it just makes the working day for the colonies shorter. So it has had an impact just on, I think anyway, on the production side of things with the colonies. Now there's a few ash along the roadside hedge there, along here, and they're not too bad, and it's towards the back of the apiary anyway, and that's the sort of sun be setting by the time it gets around that side. So might just leave them or trim them back, trim kind of up high. You'll see as we go along. I need to take out the couple of sycamores over this side here. So I'm going to be using chainsaw now, and Husqvarna 550 XP, nice saw. It's only small stuff we're doing, so no need for a big saw with this. But now that I'm a responsible adult on YouTube, chaps and helmet, earmuffs, and chainsaw boots, in case anyone's wondering. Yeah, so if you're using a chainsaw, obviously I would advise you get as much of the safety gear as possible, because you just never know. Right, let's get to it. much as any kind of farming, you have to be a bit of a jack of all trades, in my book anyway. Yeah, I don't think, okay, there are some beekeepers obviously that are keeping their bees in more urban environments or manicured environments, but I think when you're out in rural settings and where your apiaries might be kept in kind of remote locations and that, you sort of have to have a general skill set when it comes to maintaining your apiary sites. And you sort of have to work a lot with machinery that may not necessarily be beekeeping related, but it's part of maintaining your apiary sites. So that's what I'm doing here. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fell a few of these down, as I said, just to thin them out a bit. That's the plan. Thin them out so that it lets a bit of light and a bit of air in. You can see a huge difference. The sun really is kind of, in the morning, it comes up here obviously in the middle of summer, but by kind of 11 o'clock it's there. So I've cleared that now for the sun to come in. These ones here have actually gotten so high that during the midday the sun isn't really getting over those, so it's kind of casting shadow here. So hence the reason I'm going to just thin them out, and if I thin them out it'll let in the bit of light. At the back here I don't mind so much, just want to kind of keep air around the hives, but apart from that, that's a shelter belt at the back because the prevailing wind generally comes from that direction. So that's where the hives are most at risk from, so I suppose just keep that shelter belt there. So I'm going to keep going. So I'm just finishing up a batch of frames here before I go into bed. It's near midnight, I think. But anyway, just thought I'd tell you that we had our first confirmed dead out of the winter season, this winter season. And I suppose before I go on, I just want to say dead outs are a natural part of beekeeping, and I would say there's very few beekeepers out there who could honestly say that they haven't lost any colonies during winter seasons. Now, some seasons you'll get away without losing any colonies, but you will certainly have colonies that come through the winter in a poor enough state that they effectively are lost. Well, so far this year, I just seem to have the one loss, but this is the critical time of year when colonies succumb. It's towards when they just start brooding, and if a cold spell sets in, for example, and starvation, this is one of the key times for starvation to occur. But this particular colony just simply died out just through lack of bees, essentially. It's a colony that, in fact, during the heat wave that we had here in September, swarmed. The queen took off with the majority of the colony, leaving behind about 4 seams of bees. I suppose essentially I thought it was too late in the season really to do anything with it, and I just took a chance, and I said I'd leave it, see if they would rear a queen and get her mated on time. And in fact they seem to have done that, because there was a small patch of brood on one frame, and it's where the cluster was located. Now, about 4 weeks ago, I checked on this particular colony, and I thought it needed some sugar, because just where it was, looking down from the top bars, the cluster seemed to be clustering in an area there that there was I couldn't see any stores from the top bars. So I just thought that putting some sugar on them was needed, basically, to keep them going. So I did that. That was about 4 weeks ago. There was probably, I'd say, no more than a seam and a half of bees, or max 2 seams of bees in it. Certainly enough bees came up when I cracked the crown board off. Enough bees came up to meet me anyway. So I suppose I was still hopeful for them that they might make it through. But I came out there one of the evenings during the week, quite late in the evening. Well, when I say late for bees to be flying, late for activity in the apiary at this time of the year. And I noticed that one of the strong nukes in the yard was, and it's in the home apiary, was quite active, and this caught my attention. So I went over and I checked, and I then noticed that in this particular colony, which was up at the other end of the apiary, that there was quite a lot of activity outside the entrance there. And I suppose this is one of the quite an obvious example, I suppose, of where it's good to always have an idea, or know, just study the entrance activity that goes on in your hives, because it can tell a lot. Now, obviously, again, as I've said, this was quite an obvious one, but just simply by recognizing that these 2 boxes, there was activity at them in this late hour of the evening, suggested to me that something was amiss. So I checked the box, and sure enough, the cluster had fully died out. Upsetting in a way, for every beekeeper. You'll see even Ian Stepler, who has, I think he has said in a recent video there, he's 1,450 colonies in a shed. The attention that he gives to his bees, even having 1,450 colonies, you'll see there, I think that he's 4 or 5 colonies that seem to be suffering at the moment, and he's giving them syrup on an individual basis in little tubs. So even the bigger beekeepers, no matter how big you are, colony loss is always pulls at the heartstrings. But I suppose we have to move on with it and get on with it, and it's a simple fact of beekeeping. And again, it's nothing to be ashamed of that you might lose colonies in the course of a winter, or indeed during the summer months. It's just a fact of nature and some colonies will just succumb to the winter months, and that's it. So I suppose that's one of the reasons why I would always strongly advocate that beekeepers, no matter what size you are, that you consider rearing your own nukes and queens, because you have that resource then to replace any colonies. And nukes will generally not die out during the winter months. By and large, nukes, a good strong nuke, if it's made upright and it has plenty of stores and is led by a young queen, will by and large make it through the winter. And I suppose that's test one then in relation to evaluating your queens as well. Has that queen made it through the winter? Has she successfully brought a colony through the winter, and does she start off the spring season with gusto and, you know, build up a colony strength within a short time frame? And so if your queens are doing that, that's a good sign, and it certainly ticks one of the boxes anyway in relation to evaluating your queens, as I've said. So you know, again, no matter what size of a beekeeper you are, you should always consider, you know, even if you're only somebody keeping 4 or 5 hives, to you know, rear 2 or 3 nukes during your summer season, and bring those nukes through the winter. And if you don't want to expand your colony numbers, there you have nukes that you can sell on. There's always somebody looking to buy bees. That's what I will be doing. Obviously, I have my nukes out there in the yard, and I will be replacing that colony. I'll be dropping a nuke in. And the great thing is, because I know that that particular colony didn't die out because of disease, yes, I will sterilise the box and I will sterilise the comb before using it, but I have comb there then that I can spread out among the nukes when I'm moving them into full-size boxes, and it'll give them a good start rather than just putting in frames with foundation, that I'll have some comb to spread out. Like I have other comb in storage, and obviously I will be using that as well, but it's just a way of reusing the comb that you have, and that's why I brought that box in, and it'll be stored now until I need the comb, and the box will be sterilised. So I'm going to finish these frames now before it gets any later and before I go into bed. I've actually got a bit of a cold at the moment, but work goes on. That's the life of a beekeeper, out late at night, tapping away at my frames. Hope you enjoyed this one. Just a bit of maintenance, probably a lot more maintenance than you would normally see. And but it's necessary maintenance. So I think, now that I'm looking up, there's one ivy laden branch there, and I think I'll take that down, but it's overhanging. But I have a bit of clearing up to do here, so I don't have a whole lot of time left today, so I'll probably just lob down that bit, bring my equipment back down, and call it a day for today. I have to get home and help my lovely wife get the kids to bed for school tomorrow. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you like these videos. Again, as I said in previous videos, the hope is to get a video out every week. I hope I can be seen here on this camera, but anyway, get videos out every week, and you know, as the season progresses, you'll see more bees rather than me just talking, and I'll be able to talk you through some of the things I do. As I said in my description, and maybe I've said it in a video already, my beekeeping isn't perfect, or isn't textbook beekeeping as such, and I don't think any beekeeper's beekeeping is really. The more experience you get, the less reliant, I suppose, you become on a textbook, as it were, for guidance, and you kind of just do things that you experiment more, and that's the key, really, experimenting and seeing what works for you. And you know, that's what I will show you, what works for me. And again, it may work for you if you try it, but it may not, and that's just the way it goes. Yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and all of that. Thumbs up, notification bell, you name it, ding it all, and you can keep watching me from here on in. Thanks a mil. Whew. I'm sweating after that. Those chaps are warm. Anyway, I cut down another biggish one there. There's obviously a bit of tidying up to be done here. I've kind of cleared away a bit of a path in. Not much of a one, as you can see. There's still a few branches there but that is as much as I can get done this evening. So next weekend I'll have to finish it up. Bees will have to live with a bit of brush in their way for the week. Anyway, if Matt Aaron is correct in his predictions, we're to get a bit of a cold spell, I believe. So there won't be much flying or activity going on anyway. But I just want to show you here now. It's one of the clusters. And this is in one of these paradise honey boxes. You can see here, just coming up into the top bars. But they've plenty of store there. I can see, you know, the bit of brace comb along the top. Still has ivy honey in it, so they're fairly okay. I can see down, so I'm looking at, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're on. There's 7 seams there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 frames of bees. So that's not too bad in a 10 frame box. That's that. I'll just see now if we. I'm sorry, the light. I have a light on here just to. I don't know if it's of any help, but it is getting late. Yeah, there's a nuke. I'm counting. Well, definitely 1, 2. It's quite small actually. This one. I thought it would be a bit bigger now, but. Sometimes if you tilt these nukes up, there's a good weight there anyway. Well, I won't do it because sure as God I'll do it, and I'll let the thing slip. See what we have in this one. We've got bees. Plenty of stores left there, so that's good. Yeah. Good. I'll just put this there. Yeah, so that's just an idea there what we have going on. Yeah, so that's it for this week. Thanks for watching.